Hello, my name is Lewis Watson. I would like to discuss with you our devotional topic. Is fear stopping you? Our scripture today comes from Matthew chapter 26, verses 69 through 75. Now Peter was sitting outside in the courtyard, and a servant girl came up to him and said, "You also were with Jesus the Galilean." But he denied it before them all, saying, "I do not know what you mean." And when he went out the entrance, another servant girl saw him and said to the bystanders, "This man was with Jesus the Nazareth." And again he denied it with an oath, "I do not know the man." After a little while, the bystanders came up and said to Peter, "Certainly you too are one of them, for your accent betrays you." Then he began to evoke a curse on himself and to swear, "I do not know the man." And immediately the rooster crowed. And Peter remembered the saying of Jesus, "Before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times." And he went out and wept bitterly. Matthew 26 chapter, verses 69 through 75. You know, a major reason for lack of evangelism and sharing the message that God has commissioned us to share is fear. Peter is a primary example of denial of Christ that is introduced by fear. Fear of rejection or how we will be perceived will cause us to deny what we know to be true about the Lord based on our own personal experiences with God. Peter in the courtyard understands that as Jesus is condemned, there's a high probability that his disciples and associates will also be condemned. Therefore, Peter goes out of his way not to be identified with Jesus. He also chooses the path of least resistance with the crowd for himself because of fear of association with Jesus. Peter is fearful of their actions and opinions and allows his responses to be guided by their judgment. Unfortunately, the same thing happens today in our own personal witness. In order to widen the scope of our own witness, we must overcome the barrier of fear. Family, the reality is that daily we are challenged to express our beliefs in Jesus publicly, from praying before eating meals in public to how we verbally respond to a coworker at work sharing a personal struggle. You know, I would like to share 3 techniques I personally use after prayer with God to overcome fear of rejection so that I can be used to witness for God. Number 1 is just say yes. Accept God's assignment, his word, his charge. I've been doing this ever since I asked Jesus into my life. It still continues every morning when I receive my daily assignment from God. It's a daily willingness to choose God afresh. It helps me reset my mind for the upcoming day just by reminding myself to say yes to all the things that are of God. The second technique I would like to share with you is let go of the side of the pool. You got to just jump into God's work. Don't wade in. Don't just put your toe in. Remember, our God is not the God of fear. So, when God gives you something, just jump in. Let's go! The third thing I would like to share is you've already said yes. You've already jumped into the center of it. Be confident. Be bold in your assignment. Since God has sent you, God already has prepared you. Go in his strength. Go in his might. Go using his very words as you witness. You see, enthusiastic fellowship can be the very thing that God uses to motivate someone else to bring them closer. We should show them how God is infectious and just so perfect in our lives that they want to enjoy that as well. So I encourage you to allow God to send you also. Say yes to all his assignments. Jump right into the work of God. And when you get there, give it all you've got and be confident. You already have the victory through Jesus. You just got to take the steps to do the work. God's got all the rest.